March 22nd, big explosions in Moscow. Crocus City Hall is on fire. There's shootings, police everywhere, people are sad, people are crying. What is going on? I am here to answer the question of what happened. So firstly, what happened? So what happened was on March 22nd, 4 people enter the Crocus City Hall with guns, and they start shooting people instantly once they enter the mall. Currently, the number of dead people is 140, and once the Russian special forces enter the scene, they run away, burning the place as well as getting into a white Renault and driving away from the city. Their destination was the Ukrainian border. Now, on their way there, they all get caught one by one. Videos come out of how they're shaking, their ears cut off, fed to them, which I can't show, sadly. And now they're being tried. People want them to be put to death. People want them to be tortured. Many things. So that's what happened. But who did this? Who would do this terrorist attack on Russia? So I feel like we should get to know who these perpetrators are. So 4 of them are all natives of Tajikistan, all 4 of them being ISIS members. So the proof of them being ISIS members is the fact that all 4 of them, were taking a photo in front of the ISIS flag, pointing their fingers up because they look cool, I guess, all wearing the exact same shirts that you can see them in the videos. It's not only the word of Russia, you can do your own research to figure out that these are the same people. Not too hard to do. So 4 ISIS members did this, and I need to explain that that doesn't necessarily mean that ISIS was actually behind it. When there was still everything going on and the story was still developing on the same day, where there was a statement by ISIS saying that, we did it, although that was fake. Now, just because ISIS members did it doesn't actually mean that ISIS was behind the entire thing. Now, you might sit there and think, well, you're fucking stupid. Why would you even think of that? Well, let me explain. They could have been hired by mercenaries, by outside forces. The Russians say that they don't think ISIS is behind it, obviously trying to pin it some way onto Ukraine, as any sane person would, honestly. If they're actually behind it or not, we'll get into that later, but it's important to understand a good example of how people from a group can do something, but the group not being responsible. I can bring a perfect example, actually, someone being in Armenia. During the 2020 Artsakh War, there was reports that Azerbaijan actually hired ISIS members from Syria and Iraq to fight in their forces against the Armenians. Now, this doesn't mean that ISIS was behind the attack on Armenia. That means that Azerbaijan hired people from ISIS to fight for them. That doesn't mean that ISIS was behind it. That means someone else was behind it because they paid them to do so. And the same thing could happen in this scenario as well. Someone could have hired these people, as they stated themselves that they were paid $5,000 to kill people. I'm sorry, that is such little money to do like a mass terrorist attack on a nation that will beat you to death, alright? These people are shaking, and if you're wondering why they're shaking, it's because they know what's gonna happen to them. We all know what's gonna happen to them. We already saw one of their ears get cut off, and that was just by the police, alright? If you get the interrogators on them, oh boy, these people are in for a treat. We still don't know exactly who paid these people to do it. There's no actual culpable culprits, since all of the people everywhere are just kind of throwing blame on people. US saying Ukraine didn't do it the second it happened, which is kind of weird. Ukraine saying Russia's behind their own terrorist attack, going the 9/11 route. Many Russian officials are saying that Ukraine's behind it. Now, I don't really take random Russian officials' words for shit. It's not because I don't like them, it's because they don't have any proof. Show me proof and I will believe you. Just as US, you show me proof that Ukraine had nothing to do with it. How the hell do you know? If anything, there is proof that they were behind it, since these people were running away to the country. Now, I'm saying this as a response, although you could also make the argument that they knew that Ukraine would grant them asylum for doing a terrorist attack in Russia, which anyone would think that, frankly. The people there are kind of crazy, so, And another thing that many ex-CIA intelligence officials in the US said that the CIA definitely had something to do with this. And again, there's no proof, man. It's been barely a week now, alright? It's gonna take at least a month to get some actual evidence out there to throw accusations at anyone, alright? Throwing baseless accusations does nothing, honestly. Which I will get into soon, since there was a very baseless amount of accusations thrown at the Armenians. But just before I get into that, I just need to show one little video right before I get into that.
Not aware of any advanced knowledge that we had of this terrible attack.
On March 8th, the embassy warns of imminent attack in Moscow by extremists.
Yeah, I think that I'll let the State Department speak to that. But I don't think that was related to this specific attack.
Yeah, I think that you're kidding me, man. All right, you're kidding me. Horrible liar. I'm sorry, horrible liar. On to Armenia. What does Armenia have to do with this? Nothing. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So we all know that Azerbaijan's favorite pastime is just making stuff up, history, baseless claims on land, and also throwing blame onto Armenians for something that they didn't even do with zero proof. So, what's this alleged proof that they have? A person who owns the place is an Azerbaijani, therefore an Armenian did it. Compelling argument, honestly. I cannot commend these people enough. They might just be the most intelligent people on the planet. Just anyone who has a brain, honestly, does not really listen to the Azerbaijanis anymore because they just keep making stuff up. It's like the boy crying wolf, but the wolf doesn't exist. The wolf is like extinct, so they're just crying wolf and nothing ever happens. So an Azerbaijani on a Russian news channel said that he was there and that he actually heard the terrorists speaking. Oh, so we get to know who these people are. They're speaking Armenian. Alright. Something about Karabakh. Why are they in Russia doing a terrorist attack that has something to do with Artsakh? Beats me, bro. The funny thing is, that guy later apologized for what he said. Also, the Telegram channels, they had to go after the Armenians after this, painting us as nasty terrorists who haven't done anything good in their entire existence, making up the fact that, we're just horrible people, disgusting, can't believe they've done this, blah, 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 lululu. So they also just start talking about the fact that maybe Voma did this, which is literally just a group of people trying to teach people how to shoot guns. And this is all very much projection. And why do I call this projection? Well, let me tell you something that's been trying to be pushed under the rug a lot. March 23rd, something happens in Kyrgyzstan the day after the Crocus City Hall attack happens. Oh, what happened in Kyrgyzstan? 5 Azerbaijani assassins were hired to murder the Kyrgyzstani government. What? Azerbaijanis are terrorists? Oh, what the hell? No, that's not real. It should be noted that all of the news channels in Azerbaijan are very, very much under the indirect, I guess you could say, hands of Aliyev, the president of the country, the leader of the country. So that's the Crocus City Hall attack, I guess you could say, from the Armenian perspective, since there's always an Armenian perspective, since we're always blamed for everything by the Azerbaijanis, even though we didn't do anything. Sadly, I don't have any silly words of wisdom to put at the end of the video, so I will just put the fact that I have no silly words of wisdom put at the end of this video. Yeah, I said that right. Okay, bye-bye.